Another week, another trading cycles video. We are now in week 42 of the year 2023. Before we continue here, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, like the video, and leave a comment if you have any questions during the video. As well as that, do keep in mind that we do not provide financial advice here. All the content that we share is intended for educational purposes only, and always trade the price and not the prediction. My name is Eric, and I'm here as always with Urmas. How are you doing, Urmas?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for asking. And I hope everyone else as well. We are in mid-October already. Unbelievable.
The year has
so
gone
fast.
So quick.
It's about 10 weeks to go until the year end. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and obviously we're going to look what the markets have been up to, and hopefully they have been up a bit. But obviously the seasonal rallies should begin quite soon if you look at the statistics. But maybe this year has some other surprises in the sleeve there. So obviously that's what we are trying to figure out here, which way to go. Or should we stay or should we go? I don't know. Anyway, so last week was quite interesting. We did reach one of the turning points that we had predicted here, and that was on Tuesday on the 10th. And it did kind of indicate the turning point there indeed, because the market didn't reach any higher than the high was on Tuesday. So yeah, it kind of started declining. Now the next one's coming up is now tomorrow, as we are recording on Sunday the 15th. So Monday the 16th would be the next turning point. And then we got Thursday the 19th coming up here. So these are the dates to keep in mind, but we will look into them in more detail in a moment. Now let's have a look what the last week bring and what we did predict here. So seasonally, obviously we had that 50-50 play for spiders. Obviously that didn't quite follow that pattern, but I think it went very well along with those statistical numbers here. So the Monday, well, actually it started raising Monday already, but we did predict that the midweek would be quite positive and Friday would be a turning point. So that's kind of what we saw here, yeah, in the price action. So and Qs were about, if I remember correctly, 5 to 7 ratio there in regards to rising and falling prices in 12 years. So, and now 50-day moving average did reach a bit further than 30%, but it did decline by the end of week again. So we're still in that 30% zone in regards to overall market sentiment, yeah. So prices are still way below the 50-day moving average in average. Yeah, average. Yeah. And sector rotation has been kind of playing tricks here as well. So it's wiggling around like a game of Snake, if somebody remembers those good old Nokias. Yeah.
Yep.
So it doesn't quite go as a clockwork. Sometimes they do wiggle around. And at the moment we have seen that communication sector has been most positive out of those sectors. And it did play quite interesting game here. So it was heading to the loser sector, but did turn around and heading back now to the leaders, yeah. And financials, which was last week in a green already, tick in a green, yeah. So it did kind of turn around and started falling, yeah. So obviously that's quite interesting to follow, but obviously we can't make daily decisions based on that, just to give you an idea which sectors are performing better and which are not, okay? Overall sentiment, as you can see, is fairly negative in the next last 5 weeks. Almost every sector has been falling. Yeah. Now, fear and greed index is exactly where it was a week ago. So if you remember, last week it was on 29, and this week it's, oh, surprise, on 29. All right. So it's still in fear zone. All right. Now, astrologically, we did see now yesterday a quite significant event, which is an eclipse, solar eclipse, which took place, and it was clearly visible in America, mainly in Southern America. And usually the area that it's gonna touch on the map is gonna be affected the most, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't involve any global events either. So always eclipses are quite important to bear in mind, and this was actually full annular eclipse. Now the influence of that eclipse time-wise would be around 6 to 12 months, but the most events that are related to that will take place within the next 30 to 90 days. So that's quite important to understand. And we are now in eclipse season because we have another one coming in the end of month. So lunar eclipse is on 28th of October. Usually prices on the market tend to fall after the eclipses, so that's something to bear in mind. That makes us a bit cautious at the moment. And there are some other scenarios in play as well, which we have touched previously now in our weekly overviews. So at the moment, we are not so positive yet in regards to seasonal rally for the year end. Although, yes, seasonality is showing us that there is a good race coming. So, well, is it gonna go that way? Obviously, we need to follow the price and not the prediction. So,
exactly.
That's that. And then our 60-year cycle and decade cycle is also pointing to the downside, actually. So that's something to bear in mind, and it's not only next week, but month end as well. It's quite negative. And now VIX is still in the danger zone, so need to be careful in that sense as well. Now next week's seasonality for the past 12 years, it's been 50-50. So out of 12 years, 6 times the prices have been rising and 6 times they have been falling. So obviously, because the market has been mostly on the upside, that's why we see on this graph that prices might rise during the week, but that's obviously something we need to be cautious about. So statistical numbers are a bit better. So 6 out of 6, so it can go either way. And Q's just about the same, 6 out of 12. Sorry, 6 out of 12. Exactly. So 50-50 chance again, either rising or falling. Now, statistically, we can see that we are coming to some sort of decline as well. So day by day basis, obviously it's a bit, there is a bit negativity. Monday would be all right statistically, but Tuesday, Wednesday are quite negative already. No, that's something to be cautious about as well, although we are, yes, seasonally in that good green zone, already. Now, macro view. So basically, what scared the markets off on Thursday and Friday was that US inflation numbers came out, and obviously it was a bit higher than expected. So forecast was 3.6%. It actually rose a bit, so it's 3.7 still. Now that kind of scared markets off, obviously, because obviously there is a fear that Fed is going to still keep raising rates, and they have indicated that this year there might be another raise coming. So obviously that's not a good sign, and markets are a bit scared, and also there is geopolitical tension as well, as we already know. Yeah, so these are not good signs at the moment. Yeah, so there's lots of uncertainty and fear still on the market, as we saw from the index as well. Now, next week we will have Eurozone inflation numbers confirmed, and obviously Fed Chair Powell is giving a speech on Thursday the 19th. So as you remember, Thursday the 19th is another turning point on our monthly turning points as well. Yeah. So that said, let's wait and see how it's going to play out. Now let's look at other markets as well. So gold has been rising fairly heavily, so that's a good sign. It's going as it should. Now Bitcoin has been a bit weaker than expected, but we had a turning point on Wednesday, and it did turn around a bit. So the next turning point for Bitcoin is coming up on Friday the 20th. And VIX did see some rise again. Yeah, so we are still in the danger zone, as we indicated. So we do expect that VIX might still keep going to the upside. Yeah, so there might be more fear coming. Yeah. And from the stocks that we have been following here, for example, APH is still in play. It hasn't reached its profit target and is still in the green, so that's all good. Now QRVO did reach its profit target on Friday. FIS did also reach its profit target on Monday already, and WELL did stop out here on Wednesday. So these are all now forgotten. Only one in play at the moment is APH. Yeah? And as we are still expecting market move to the downside, then we are only looking for short opportunities at the moment. Yeah. So although that's our review of the market, obviously you don't have to follow that, and we can't give you any advice either because we are not qualified financial advisors here.
Of course.
So it is all for educational purposes only. But let's then wait and see how it's going to play out next week. And obviously we have some interesting times ahead again. Yeah. All right.
All right. Thank you very much, Romas, as always. And thank you for watching and listening. Let's see how these eclipses play out in this month here. And the next week in general, let's see what happens and how it kind of rolls out. But yeah, that's it from me. If you've liked the video, please click the like button. If you haven't already, get subscribed. Share the video with anyone you feel like might find it useful. And what else? You know, subscribe again if you already subscribed. Resubscribe. But yeah, I will see you in the next video. Have a good week. Bye bye.
Have a great week and see you next time. All right.